Hey, so I've been seeing the Ava P hood scarf going around quite a lot, and I'd seen it and thought, oh yeah, that's really cool. I think it's such a fun design, and thought to myself, yeah, definitely in the autumn, I'm going to try and make one of those for myself. But then I saw Marn Knitwear had made her own version, which I think is equally gorgeous, and I just thought, yes, it's May. Yes, it's going to be 20 degrees next week. But you know what? I think I want to make this now. I can't find the video where Ava P originally talked about where she got the initial idea from. I think the reason that she made a pattern of her own, like someone else originally made it, and then she made a pattern of her own because she said something about attaching the hood and the scarf in a different way. And when Marn Knitwear was also trying out the pattern, she seemed to be struggling quite a bit with Ava P's directions for it, which it sounded like it was just because one of them uses US English crochet terms and the other one uses UK English crochet terms. I'm pretty sure I use whichever one Marn Knitwear uses because I got back into crochet when I was living in the Netherlands, which is where Marn Knitwear's from, I think. And I was just like, oh man, am I going to have to, or should I say, oh man, sorry. Am I going to have to track down this TikTok to see the pattern and then rewatch Marn Knitwear's attempt at it to work out where she was doing trebles when she should have been doing doubles and all the rest of it? Or do I just make my life a bit simpler and just do it myself? Because it is the classic thing of looking at a picture where it's like you can pretty much tell how to do it. So for example, the type of granny stitch used on the hood, it's called I love this, it's called like a chocolate box square, and I got it out of I have this granny square, like this book of 200 granny squares, so I'd already seen it in there and was like, oh wow, I haven't seen that pattern used in that way before, that's cool. So I started making myself. As you can see, it's what I would call double. It's just three doubles, and they look more square than in a traditional granny square because they have this single crochet. I've worn the worst possible top to demonstrate this, I'm sorry, but they have this single crochet between each one, as you can see, hopefully, which makes them more square because they're not kind of like being pulled to a point. I can see it's just two of these chocolate box squares, and I'm going to call this a chocolate box hood because I just don't like the scood or the scoody or whatever it's being called. Like as a name, it just doesn't kind of like, it's not, I'm probably going to come around to it. Like in 6 months time, I'm going to be sitting here talking about my scoody and it's going to be like, of course, everything's fine. But for now, my brain is just struggling. I don't feel like it is actually representative of what this is, because it's not like it's a scarf hoodie, but then would it be a scood? I don't know. Anyway, and also I just think chocolate box hood is such a nicer name. This is one side of it. I have made it quite big, but that's because I want quite a lot of room at the back. So I'm just going to carry on working on it today. I'm working on the second square at the minute. So I think I've got one more line of brown left. Well, one more line of pink, the pink singles, and then one more line of the brown. So I thought I would just carry on working on this today and check back in a little bit and show you how far I've got. So I finished the 2 squares now, and I have a little bit of an issue with my tension. I've done the same number of rounds, but I think basically with one of them I was doing a stitch between, as in 3 doubles, a stitch, 3 doubles, and then the other one I didn't do that. You can kind of see it's coming up here where, I mean, if I pull it, it's the same. The reason that I did one with a stitch and one without was I very enthusiastically packed the book I got the original pattern out of, and now I can't remember if I decided to skip doing that stitch between or not. I think I did, but I also do not want to have to undo it, and I can imagine making future ones like this, but I don't think this in particular is going to be the one that I'm wearing lots. So I don't want to spend loads and loads of time on it. I think I'm going to use this to like perfect the pattern, and then if I have any friends or family who admire it and would like one themselves, I'll make them one. But I don't feel the need to invest as much time in kind of correcting this as I might if I was doing it in super expensive wool or anything like that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to attach them to each other to make the hood. So, God. So this is what it's going to look like. And then there'll be a scarf to kind of wrap it all together. But I do think I have made it very, very big, and this is why I never ever weave in the ends as I go, because that is a foolish business. I want to be able to take at least a couple of rows off if I need to. I can imagine I might need to just take a brown and the light pink and go down one. I'm also going to attach them with this hot pink that I've been using for the individuals, because at the front I want to do the scallops in the pale pink. So that's why I'm kind of thinking, like, you know, these two together, it's going to be brown and brown. That's quite a lot of brown. Originally I was like, should I kind of do it more like a triangle at the back? And then I'm like, no, I'm not making like some kind of monk's habit or something. Like, I don't need it to be that big. But yeah, so I'm going to use the pink just to break up all the brown and also to act as a baseline for the pink scallops. So I think I'm just going to kind of slip stitch it together, and then that way I can undo it quickly if I need to, but I will check back in with you soon. So before, when I was saying how I had a bit of an issue with tension with these squares, turns out I didn't have an issue with tension. Turns out I had missed a stitch. So here, as you can see, the pink carries along each one, and then you knit the next 3 doubles into the above one. I just didn't do that for one of them, and then I was literally like, I was actually sewing it together, and I was just like, what's gone wrong here? Why do I have like 11 on this side and only 10 on that side? And then I realized. So I am not going to be compiling the hood today. I'm going to finish. I've unpicked most of this. I am now reassembling it. This is why you don't sew in your ends as you go. Terrible idea. Thank God I didn't do that, because then I could just unravel it really quickly. Next update will probably be in a few days' time once I've stopped being cross with this. So this is where we're at. Got a hood. I feel like I'm okay with the size of it. After the last update where I realised I'd skipped it, I pulled it all back, redid it, skipped it again. It still did not count how many squares are on each side. I mean, I want to say why am I like this, but I know why I'm like this. So yeah, but I've got it right this time. I did the squares slightly smaller, so both of them finished with the line of brown, and then I used the pink to join the 2 squares into a hood shape. These little squares are doubles, and then I actually did triples to join it just because doubles was looking very small and squeezed. So I think it's looking good in terms of that. It is super pointy, but I don't mind being a bit of a gnome. So what I'm going to do next is, I think it's definitely quite short. You know, it's here, and then the scarf's obviously going to come around, but I don't want the scarf to be like a metre high. I think that it's coming forward far enough. So I'm going to do the pink scallops down here, and then another line of pink round here, just the pink squares, and then maybe even another line of brown, but just around the bottom of it, just to make it come down a little bit more before I start thinking about the scarf. Yeah, I think it's coming together. I'm happy with the construction. It honestly, the 3rd time I had to pull back to like sort out the stitches I'd missed, I was very ready to give up on this whole process. And even now I'm like, it's May, it's super sunny, why am I doing this? And I think this is something I didn't allow myself with my last move, was just to do crafting that was just fun. And like, I know it doesn't seem like I'm having fun, but I am actually having fun, like working out how this all goes together and stuff. And I think part of me is like, oh, but I've got other things I should be doing, and I was going to do a curtain for the house, and I need to finish this and that. And it's like, I'm trying to give myself a bit more space now to just be like, I really enjoy doing this. It makes me feel good. It helps me de-stress when I'm very stressed with this whole move. Maybe it's okay just to keep working on it for a bit. I'm gonna keep working on this, and then I will update you when I think it's long enough and when I'm ready to begin the scarf portion. Hey, so finish the extra lines on the hood. This is what it looks like. And I started doing the scarf. I feel like it kind of looks like a tentacle at the minute. Have I got... Great, so this is upside down. Hold on. Okay, so this is the right way. This is the scarf, which I think is looking very much like a tentacle. I also feel I look a little bit like I'm some kind of day glow, new rave knight. Like, it's a very psychedelic type of chainmail, isn't it? I'm assuming once I kind of do all the ends, have the scarf, maybe block it, it's going to look a little bit less triangular. Yeah, but I thought I'd quickly talk about, because it seems to be working the way I've chosen to do the scarf. And this is where I was kind of very on my own, because like the hood, it was very clear. It's like, it's a chocolate box square times 2 attached to each other, which is what I did. But now that when it came to how do I attach the scarf, I was kind of on my own. So as you can see, the bottom line of brown squares joined together by the hot pink, and then I've extended it along, and I might at some point
do more of an edging underneath, but this is like, that's how the scarf goes. And then I'm going to build down here, like do next is line of pale pink squares held together by the hot pink, then brown, etc, etc. And the way I did it was I attached the brown yarn here and chained out 120, and then I inserted the hook into the stitch that was fourth from the hook, so that formed the first bar of the first double, and then just carried on stitching into that. So did 2 extra doubles in there, chained 1, and then skipped 2 on this baseline, and then did the 3 doubles, chain 1, skip 2, 3 doubles, chain 1, skip 2, 3 doubles. I think at one point I had to skip 3 just to make it even, maybe here, but yeah, as you can see, like it's really not, I don't think it's noticeable. I'm going to do the same now to the other side. So I'll have 2. And as you can see, I've been kind of going along the top with the pink as well. And the idea is that once I've done the 120 on this side, I can just go back and forth to make the rest of the scarf. So it's not like every single time I'm going to have to do like 1/2 on this end and then 1/2 on this end. But yeah, I mean, I love these colours so much, and they actually do look as good, like this vibrant in real life as they are coming across on camera. Yeah, and then I'm going to carry on doing the scarf today and hopefully get that finished. And then I think I've just got to do the scallops and wind in all the ends, but I will check back in with you to let you know how it all goes. Kind of hopeful to have this finished soon, but also not particularly rushing myself, because it is definitely like, it's a really nice project to be working on, so I'm pretty happy for it to take as long as it takes.
Oh hey, finished the hood. It's 20 something degrees outside. So glad that I got this done right in time for summer. This bit I feel looks a tiny bit like a bonnet, like a little baby bonnet. I kind of want to just maybe pin it back a bit, but I also feel quite pretty with it. I haven't blocked it yet or washed it, so it might be that it comes out a little bit softer in the wash. It is really cozy and I really love wearing it, and I might even just put a stitch there and then it can just be like that. I think once I get this bit sorted out, I can imagine wearing this a lot, because it is like, if I wasn't like sweating while wearing it, I'd be pretty happy with it. So this is the whole thing. And then I've done the scarf a bit longer than the other ones I've seen, but that's just because I like wearing my scarves like this. Like I like having the little bit here. I like to be able to, if I want to, kind of do that. Like if I'm wearing a coat that's got quite a high collar and zip, that it's like this can sit on top of it rather than like have to like shove it underneath and make it look bulky. So construction wise, the last update from me was about, I had started doing these brown bits, and originally I was thinking to do the scarf as deep as the hood, but then that makes quite a lot at the back, and also I liked how it was feeling when I wrapped it around me at this kind of width. Yeah, width is the word I was looking for. There was also a little bit of an element of, I'm making a few other things with this wool and I don't want to have to buy new wool, so I kind of just stopped because I was like, I want to still have some more wool left. I was thinking I might do another band of the hot pink just around it to finish it off, but I'm also just really, really happy with it like it is. Like I can imagine just getting a lot of wear out of this. And I did the scallops around the edge, which the first time I did it with 7 double crochets, and that was true bonnet. That was like a full-on whipple and wave, which is interesting. Like I kind of want to make some kind of like tie peplum top thing, and I was like, oh, this is an interesting way to make that. Good to know. But yeah, I undid it and I just did it with the 5 doubles because that makes a more kind of flat bump. Yeah, and I'm just super happy with it. It was a really fun project to be working on. It's absolutely not the right time of year for it, but I had so much fun. It was such a kind of nice little kind of project for myself, and I think I've done a good job of it being quite seamless. No, this one's when I started doing the scarf, and there's no join or anything, so I feel good about that. But I think I would just make them separate, just that way I can make the hood smaller if I want to. Although I feel like taking off the brown, it would have been too small. Maybe I would just make it with either a smaller crochet hook, but the same number of rounds, or maybe a slightly finer wool. I did see that Ava P did hers in some kind of mohair, and I'm very interested in that. And I think that could be really cool. But I can imagine making other ones in different types of wool. I think it would actually be really nice in like a bamboo wool, which I could do really small because obviously bamboo stretches so much. But yeah, as a first try on this, I'm really, really happy with it. I don't think I would do anything else different. Would make this slightly smaller, would make these a bit more easy to detach from each other. But yeah, other than that, it's been a really fun project. I haven't done this kind of chocolate box square before, so that was kind of a nice little challenge. Like, I do really like it. I think I like it a bit more than the normal granny stitch. Like, it's a bit more work because obviously like you've got all the joining, but I think I just like the squares a bit more than I like the triangles. So it's kind of made me look at a lot of granny square stuff that in the past I've dismissed. It's like, oh, it's not really my style. And now I'm like, but what if it was in chocolate box? For example, I think a bucket hat in this would actually be really cool. If a bucket hat it would be cool. So that's got me thinking. Yeah, I feel like it's just a really fun little project and definitely recommend you make one of your own. If you are the kind of person who really likes a pattern, I think Ava P published her pattern on TikTok, and if you watch her videos, you'll probably find the creator that she originally got the idea off. I think the Ava P pattern is maybe free, and I don't know about the creator she originally got it from, but you can always like leave a coffee tip or something if you prefer to kind of pay for your patterns. If you just want to do it yourself, like just Google chocolate box square, make 2 of them, and then my recommendation is make the scarf separate and just attach, but you can also rewind this video and do it the way that I've done it, which, you know, does work. It just means that you can't change your mind about anything. So yeah, fantastic timing. It's almost June. I have this slightly kind of like luminous hood that I'm not gonna be able to wear for 6-7 months, or, you know, realistically British summer, like 2 months. But yeah, I mean, I get that everyone's really focused on their summer knits at the minute, but I quite like doing something that wasn't seasonal as well. Like, it's nice to just kind of do whatever I want rather than kind of be like, oh, but it's hot weather, I should do like a strappy top or something. So yeah, I guess it comes back to the whole thing of like, subscribe, do whatever you want, make whatever you want. Bye.